expected.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to cs.money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
Case. Big update and new features in the case battles. Updated and convenient interface with new options. Up to 4 users can participate in one battle now. Create and customize your battles, any number and any type of cases. Choose the number of participants and invite your friends with a unique link. Watch the best drop and win everything. Don't miss epic battles on Hellcase.
Kane from Navi joins me now. And Kane, first of all, congratulations on your team making the playoffs. So what did you think of their performance in the group stage?
Мы начинали не очень хорошо на этом турнире, но надо понимать, что у нас не было официальных матчей с тех пор, как мы выступали на мажоре. И наша команда получила очень болезненное поражение, немножко где-то даже потеряла уверенность в своих силах. Но сейчас мы вернулись, и мы чувствуем, что опять мы можем выиграть.
It surprises me you saying Navi lacking confidence. That's totally something I would never associate with Navi. They always seem so strong on LAN. And I would love to know also about your practice before you came to Shanghai, because I heard that it was only 6 days or a week.
Да, мы готовились не так много, как, допустим, к мажору, но надо понимать, мы знали, что это будет долгий турнир, и мы всегда очень много работаем именно во время турниров. Плюс впереди у нас поездка в Майами, а потом буквально сразу же и Лондон, поэтому мы чуть-чуть сократили подготовку, но мы понимали, что мы будем работать здесь и наберем свою лучшую форму.
So what are the things that you are focusing on in your practice?
Counter-Strike постоянно меняется и развивается, и бывает такой момент, что вроде ты играешь хорошо, а буквально через неделю ты уже понимаешь, что у тебя есть проблемы на определенных картах. Поэтому мы просто старались подтянуть свои слабые места, да, и не потерять свои сильные стороны, как-то так.
And how are the team communicating in-game at the moment?
Я думаю, что коммуникация – это один из ключей успеха в Counter-Strike. И мы не молодая команда, как бы довольно-таки опытная. Мы нашли определенный ключ в коммуникации, и я думаю, что у нас все хорошо с ним.
Kane, you mentioned that the loss to ENCE at the major in the semi-finals knocked the confidence of the team. You'll be playing them in the quarter-finals. So how are you getting the team ready for this rematch?
Я думаю, что несмотря на то, что мы проиграли ENCE в полуфинале, мы были сильнее, чем они, и мы допустили ошибку. Прошло время, и я вижу прогресс в их игре. Они стали лучше. Но мы сделали выводы, и мы хотим взять реванш.
Спасибо, Kane. Хорош, and good luck in your match against ENCE.
Well, luck is going to be one aspect that is required. They're down a map already. They lost Train. They lost at a crucial clutch situation. Electronic can't really fault him. It was good movement.
Indeed.
Kind of would have caught Aloe off, I'm sure. And he created his luck in that situation as well, because he brought it down from what was a 1 versus 3. They now have to switch focus entirely to Inferno. It's the team that beat them in the major semi. They want to make amends with that. They want to get revenge for it, surely, and they want to make it through to the semi, which comes up immediately after.
Yeah, good sign, and that is Electronic, the man on your screen right here, getting the massage from Eugene, the manager, is that he had a fantastic first map. He was playing phenomenally well. He was finding a lot of space, finding a lot of opening kills, finding a lot of impact. And if he'd won that round, that would have been a miracle play, would have been top of Reddit, would have been something to just scream and shout all over. Then they could be in a different story right now. Train could have gone either way, or we could have had a closer affair. We might even still be commentating on that one right now. But moving on to Inferno, we have to note of a couple of things of both teams that have been tendencies of late or things that they've changed up. One of the things I noticed with ENCE on their CT side is they don't tend to cheat 3 players towards the top of banana unless you force them to do that, right? That's something which they are just happy to have their standard 2-3 hold, unless they've addressed that in recent times and decided to change that up from the previous matches that I've seen of them in recent times. And then you have, obviously, Na'Vi, who they've been switching things up a lot on Inferno for the longest time. For such a while, it was like, okay, well, we can just put Simple banana, we can put him B on his own, and we can stack 4 players towards A. But having Simple now playing that Arch side and Flamey and Zeus actually doing the lion's share of the B holding has allowed Simple to be a little bit more free, sporadic in his movements as well. It's harder to read the play on the Arch side. He can be quad, he can go over towards B when he wants to, he can go apps, he can do whatever he feels the need to do. And you have Electronic and Edward being the rocks over towards the balcony and the site. So those things are to note with the changes on the CT sides at least. And we are going to get underway with the knife round here to decide who's going to be starting where. Obviously, in the StarSeries format, if you're just joining us, they knife for sides on every map. It's not just a third and final decider.
I'm not sure I love that. A few events that have done that in the past year. I guess, I mean, it puts a skill in a knife round, so if you want to get your side, you got to win it. But at the same time, if it's your map pick, you should be better on it, so the other team should get the side. It's minuscule, but I think I still prefer the other.
The argument for it, I spoke to LMBT about this, and he said that, when you know that the other team gets to pick the side, most teams won't be risky in their map choices, right? So you won't pick very CT heavy-sided teams when you have a map, because when you know that you can do it and have a knife round, then you still have a shot to potentially start on that CT side.
What if you suck at knife rounds?
Well, I don't know. Get working on it.
Okay.
It can't be a difficult skill, surely.
I don't think ENCE has ever won one.
Neither do run boosts.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about on the knife rounds.
Run boosts. Did they win that one? I wasn't even paying attention. Maybe I said they never won one and they just won that one.
Maybe they've been winning them all.
Maybe they had. No. I don't think so.
Having some GoTV issues
I would know
today,
if they were winning them all, Chad.
I can't let you know what's going in the server right this instant, but we should be getting underway very shortly. This is a map where, I used to praise Zeus a lot for his impact that he would have in the crossfire with Electronic over towards A. Those two were with the anchors. They actually had, I think it was Edward and Simple were the 2 players over towards B, and Flamey was the outside. So they've had a lot of moving and shaking around.
They've switched the chairs in the booth, I just noticed. Yesterday we had those big square ones.
Maybe it's player preference?
I was going to say, I wonder if the players requested that, or maybe they're just trying to showcase all their different chairs.
Well, I noticed...
Maybe we'll have another one tomorrow.
I noticed MBK during the group stage, he was on the big one, and then he was the only player on the big one yesterday when Vitality played. So maybe he just likes it.
Maybe he'll order one.
He's got broad shoulders.
Well, if he had broad shoulders, he could carry his team, but he never does, so... I'm kidding. I like Nathan.
Do you think he looks a little bit like Carl from Walking Dead?
Don't watch The Walking Dead, I'm afraid.
Well, Na'Vi will be starting on the CT side of this one, and
I think
will be starting
on
the T side. Sergey's going to buy into the utility this time round. Molotov and 2 flashes. Everybody else has Kevlar. Alexi B is yet to buy yet. On the other side of things, 4 sets of Kevlar. Zeus makes that 5. So not many grenades this time round, and no defuse kit in play at all. Sergey will be the man. And he might be using that Molotov very early. He will to hold back this banana play. So it's going to be quick towards A. It's going to be a relative direct approach.
Yeah, Simple's there, though. Oh, very quick approach from Simple. Quick spray. Had to try and shut down X7, who was jumping. Edward helps him do that. Steps out, in fact, finds a second. Round starts with Simple, and he may only get 1. But, I take that back. He did find a second, did he not? Must have been as we snapped over to look at Edward on the arch side. But Alexi is all that's left.
You think Simple hurt us, Matt?
Bomb. Maybe. Maybe me calling him out last game.
He was held to quite a quiet scoreline, all things considered, and the way that he was getting some of those certain kills were just on save rounds. So limiting his deaths. Alexi B, 1-on-5 situation. Just going to walk towards B. He's been spotted. The bomb will have been called now. He can get that nice grip, and Zeus will make the shot. going to be 5 headshots to close out round number 1. Armor is going to be held through on several players who weren't in duels at all, so the upgrade to head armor is a lot less of an investment. For those of you who weren't aware of that, if you can win the pistol round and not take any damage on your Kevlar, upgrading to head armor is nowhere near expensive. So these little things in Counter-Strike, they make the difference in the long run. We're going to see an M4 and an AUG come out, Simple with the AUG, Edward with the M4, 3 UMPs, a spree of grenades going up against just a Deagle for Alu. Everybody else on the side of the bench up to the Glocks. Well, the Deagle's gone. And who's going to get it next?
No one. Simple says no. Simple might say a lot more than that. Headshot on X7 at least landed. Sergey gets it back in the end.
I think Simple's mad.
Deagle. Is he?
Just the way he's playing in a very, hey...
mad in a motivated way.
Yeah, not like tilted or anything. Like, you
not
know,
mad,
I'm
crazy,
frustrated
not
at
angry.
myself, and now I'm going to just go and destroy these guys, kind of mad. Because he did make that tweet. Something about carry mode, I think it was.
Carry mode. I like it. It's like device going into Deva.
So they've done 1 lick of damage with the Deagle, the Alu board, and Sergey picked it up and rung true. If he can find another one, the reason he can't, it's such a scary pistol. This used to be the only go-to back in the day. This used to be all you could rely on these type of rounds. If you didn't buy a Deagle, you just had Glocks. You couldn't invest in anything else. It was what, the compact. Nobody used the Julies unless it was a meme. And we didn't even call it memes back then, Matt. We just called them jokes.
I know. I like the word joke is just for, nah, you're too old. If you say joke, you're an old man.
Yeah.
Just memeing. No, you're just joking. A meme is a specific thing. Flamey. And Zeus. They'll close out the round. 2-0 for Na'Vi. ENCE with no bomb plants in either round. Are still in a position to buy. It's just that Deagle carried in. But buy they shall, AWP they shall not. AK is presumably on all 5, or does Alu elect to stay with the pistol and maybe pick up a deceased teammate's gun in hopes that he'll get an AK in the next round? I think, okay, you got a Galil. Because he was a little bit light on money to go utility and AK. Smoke. Down. He's going to get one, but he's got to back into that smoke and hope that they don't spread through. It's away with 59. That's not bad, all things considered. That could have been a lot worse, considering the play. And a good read to push the edge of the smoke, knowing that the flames wouldn't spread any further. He could step into it for a moment and take down Zeus, because all that deep utility meant they wanted banana control. That sets the tempo pretty early that they're not going to get it quite as easy as they might hope.
It's only 2 kills so far for ENCE. I know they're only 3 rounds in, but I think both have come from Sergey.
Second, Simple has certainly shown up on Inferno so far. Electronic swinging back out, has to be careful from the front of Library. They're already at the arch side, or excuse me, the quad side. His teammates are already at the arch side. And X7 inside of the pit will hold for post plant. Sergey's even, in fact, going to get up toward Boiler, see if he can cut off the cross from alt middle. Maybe even just play toward the balcony. Either way, he doesn't have to move until information is gained and garnered from his teammates.
Oh, well, they are so indecisive right now on whether they want to go for it or not.
Simple's out of there. He's 8 HP. He says no.
But look at Flamey.
I know. It's an interesting call. You'd think he'd still want to be there to trade, would he not? Flamey's gone. That confirms that they'll have to back out. But that's a bit surprising. I would have thought he'd stuck around maybe in spawn, see if they get a pick, and then he's at least there to trade off of.
Yeah, and I thought they might actually go for it because they did so many saves in that first map on their CT side. They might have looked back at that and gone, hey guys, we didn't give ourselves enough of a chance to actually win rounds. Maybe we need to change that approach this time. So you could see as there were 2 players towards the arch side, 2 pushing up lane, well, towards quad over the brackets or top mid walls, that maybe they were going to go for it. But Simple on 8 HP, he thought better of it, and I guess that he's the man who sets a little bit more than the tempo. Had them dart on back, and Flamey probably hanging around with the UMP trying to get himself an AK or an upgraded gun. So you can see there why he did it, because now he's able to buy on in. He's got himself an M4. Otherwise, he would have been stuck with that UMP in this round. So might be some logic, because he does tend to get left as that B anchor when Zeus has to float back. 3 towards top of Banana early for Na'Vi here. Let's see if they can actually take control this time without going down a man. Simple will be there to help him with utility. He's used the lion's share of his straight away. So you can see that he just has a flash left. From this point on, Simple is really just gun out, ready to frag. Great grenade work there. Alexi and Sergey going to get chunked on down. We've got 37 points of health for Alexi, and Sergey's on 45. And we talk about, at least historically, because the M4s, the dink, it isn't enough with one bullet, and you want to soften them up a little bit. The revolution of utility ever since Astralis has shown us how to use it perfectly has been something that has been heavily monitored. ENCE will now with a minute on the clock. We saw them actually in an Inferno game where they had the vitality loss, remember? The next game they played, it just felt like they were dry running their T side of this map time and time again. It was the same play, round after round. They were getting banana control, whether it was early or whether it was late, and then they were just doing executes across the map, and they were doing it, you know, the 45-second mark, the 30-second mark, and they were making it happen. So we've seen a lot of the T side from ENCE in this tournament thus far.
Seven wants to be the one to cross over the arch. He's got to look left. Simple's actually giving the gap to him. Timing off. He pays a heavy price for it. Once again, it's X7 that takes him down. He isn't done there. He'll find Andrew. They'll find Electronic. Sergey with the kill. That's fantastic. Look at the HP. So low, so close, but yet so far from Na'Vi.
And Na'Vi have to save her. I said that Simple was just going to be gun on for the rest of the round after using all of his utility there, right? The fact that he still gets caught with the timing like that, it's normally what you try to avoid, or avoids itself when there's nothing else to work with. Obviously the flashbang, but those two big kills right there from X7 onto that A bomb site. Once again, it's similar scenes to what we saw on Train. They went for explosion plays towards the inner bomb site. They took down Zeus or whoever else was there in tow with him, and that was all they needed to force Na'Vi to stay modest, sit back and save the gun. So just having a look at these two teams, because they've both been around for quite an extended period of time. Electronic joining Na'Vi in late 2017, if I remember rightly. They went on to win DreamHack Winter with him in that squad. They've played Inferno on LAN as a unit 50 times with a 58% win rate. Now, ENCE have been a team with this roster for 1 year, obviously not as long as the Na'Vi side of things. Their Inferno on LAN, they have played it 18 times, which makes sense because they would have been attending less the LAN events, in especially the infancy stages. Yeah. And they've won it for 72%. Obviously Na'Vi with a lot more, but I spoke about all those changes that they've had recently, especially in their CT-sided holds. I know that Simple on the T side, he's doing more of a supportive position at the start of the round to allow Electronic and Zeus to fight Banana. He's throwing the grenades to them. So lots of different changes, and it's at least resonated in a more team-based Na'Vi. Sure, Simple and Electronic, they still have massive numbers, but it feels like it's less on the idea of, there was such a period of time there where Na'Vi was just, let's get guns in these two guys' hands and try and make room and go from there. Now it feels like there's more of a tactical approach with that element still in play. Yep. So they blended those two types of Counter-Strike together, which is quite nice to see.
Slower start to this game. Na'Vi CT. We know that their T side on Inferno can be quite, I don't know, maple syrup uphill.
I can imagine that doesn't go very far.
Not in Canada when it's also freezing. XCB. Behind the logs with Zeus to be in season. And the scope on the AUG makes no mistake to put him down as a result. A deep. Do further damage? No, it didn't actually. I thought it might catch Sergey on the way by, but not quite. It went a little too far. Sergey, speaking of, will then take the chance to try and take the ground back inside of it. And they backed off into the site. They've got the man advantage. They don't really have a need to stay so far forward. Meanwhile, it's just about finding a pick and a return and equalizer for ENCE. Sergey's got Zeus. That's a good entry. That's exactly what they wanted. Now, they're almost forced to rotate. They aren't, because there's still activity toward A. Instead, they're going to try and fight top middle. Simple's down to aerial, but Sergey's still trying to get inside of the site. Might fall in return. He gets low, 24.
Flamey's getting flanked here. Does he know?
You're absolutely right. Alu snuck through as soon as the reload came in, as soon as Flamey took the damage. And he took the time.
He's got no idea.
Oh, he's done. This could even be a knife for Alu. He can build up some cash for the AWP, and he'll do exactly that. Flamey's gone. Edward and Electronic are as well. They're going to back out surely and get away with their weapons.
They have to go for a round eventually, though, Matt. They can't keep saving. They just can't. You know, I know it's still early stages, but you have to put up a fight at some point, because ENCE are just going to keep running away with these rounds by letting them stay alive, by not going for exits, by not challenging at all. Sure, you're allowing yourself to potentially have more gun rounds going forward. I understand the loss bonus is building. But on Train, it came back to haunt them, right? You think about the string, that slew of rounds that they couldn't even get back into. They really didn't even give themselves a chance to retake. You know, you see certain teams, you look at MIBR as an example,
Sure.
at least historically when they were Luminosity and SK Gaming, and then you had the change of time from 1 minute 45 to 1 minute 55, you didn't necessarily, once the bomb went down, just run straight in there, right? You would actually just wait a little bit longer and see if they would push or get a little bit antsy in the retake situation. Well, Na'Vi aren't even staying close enough to get antsy. Well, take advantage of the ants in the pants.
To get ENCE?
Yes, but look, I was just bringing up some stats for ENCE now. These last 6 months on LAN, it's between the top 20 teams in the world. One stat that ENCE has on their T side of this map, they are the best team in the world right now with the trade percentage. That's a pretty good stat to have on your T side of any map. Let's have it on Inferno. We're going to see how that one plays one out. But contrastingly, when you look at the overall for Na'Vi, their 4v5 percentage is second only to that of Astralis, and ENCE in their 4v5s after they lose the opening kill is quite low. So if they don't get the opening kill and trade immediately, pressure is on ENCE. Like it was in that round, they didn't trade immediately, but Sergey got them back in it yet again. This time, the hero at the last will fall. Flame's going to give himself away almost for free there. Zeus is going to rattle some bullets off, do a little bit of damage, but he's going to get pumped on down to 54 points of health. Edward up close and personal in this Apps position with the shotgun. He might have to deal with X7, who isn't pushing. He's kind of just doing that. It's not really a lurking job, but anchoring this position for information to make sure that nobody is able to push past the precipice of boiler and window room or halls, or even down mid for a flank. So he's, you know, getting information, but he's also acting as the canary in the coal mine if there is a bit of trouble. This is going to be a big duel.
And he could strike if they went back over toward B on the rotation. Oh my, Edward! That's how you use a shotgun.
They're going arch side here, so if they wrap onto A, Simple's actually hidden in Graveyard. He could pounce late with Edward baiting from pit, and if they go mid to B, they have to deal with 2 players passive on the side. It will be the wrap. Simple just needs to hide.
Yeah, and he's doing exactly that. He's holding it off inside of Graveyard. They'll know there'll be one inside of pit because the smoke was thrown out.
Edward's not baiting for him anymore, though.
The smoke kind of does, though, because they're going to have to rotate around. They're going to have to go that far, and Ariel's going to think that if he jumps up over top of Graveyard, he might be able to clear pit. And Simple was there for it. The problem is they lost Edward ahead of time. Bomb planted still. Edward trying, or excuse me, Simple trying to wait for his teammates on the bottom side of mid. Quick peek to the site, didn't see Alexi B on top of the box. They won't see Alu in the cubby, but there's a second one there. Zeus needs to trade off of this. He absolutely has to because Simple lost his duel. And ENCE win the rounds.
Felt like a perfect little trap there after Ed was able to get that big kill in halls with the shotgun up close and personal, but just in the details right there, it really looked like the setup was perfect, but as soon as Edward put his attention elsewhere on the map, Simple's position gets neutered a little bit. The smoke, he couldn't pick and try and fight the planter. We'll be buying on into this. Flame, he's quite late. He's going to buy a UMP. Zeus is even later. He hasn't purchased. Oh, I'm a little bit later on the Go TV. Let's go off the main feed. He has purchased. He has the AUG and a flashbang in hand. Business as usual here for ENCE. The default spread. Just another day at the office as they take Banana control. Sergey leading the way. 4 players towards Banana this time round, so maybe it'd be a more direct approach to the B hit because they have been defaulting pushing back B and then leaning over towards the A site. They do have Simple here with the AWP, but they don't have enough utility to slow this down, so they're going to have to play in front of the utility that's going to come over from ENCE any second now. It looks like it is just going to be the B hit.
Ariel just holding it off. It's buying time. 2 smokes still to work with. 3 flashes. Lead on the T side that might amount to more. They're just taking map control, setting up, and running the gauntlet on Na'Vi. But this time the gauntlet gets a strike back as Zeus finds one edge of the smoke. Did he get the second? He did. My goodness. He found Ariel as well. Crossing it does actually evade Zeus, though, because he was on reload. That means they clear out water, and that costs them dear. How? Because then they get the crossfire back. They're able to trade it back into a 3-on-3.
No kit.
Simple has to cover the cross with the bomb down. Smokes are gone. That gives him the shot. X7 falls immediately. That bomb is a problem. It's sitting in the open. It is a magnet. And Simple is happy to play that game. So is Ali. We'll find Edward at least. Trying to fake anything? Try and bait it out.
It's got to go now.
A lot of HP, and Simple removes what's left of it.
Always a tense moment. And that's the way we like it. Scoreline 4-3. In the favor of ENCE here. This is map number 2. Maybe we'll see some more fight coming out from Na'Vi now. That was big by Zeus. You have to think about those 2 kills that he had. Sure, I know in transition there, they were able to trade it up and make it a 3v3, but he obviously did more than enough to allow the remainder of the Na'Vi players to settle on in. Simple to get to work with the big green. Fire's going to come in again. This time, ENCE still sitting more than pretty. 5 AKs on the board, no AWP in the hands. Mr. Alu. Just to note, the winner of this series will be playing immediately after versus Renegades. So the longer these games go, if they become drawn out, if it's a 3-mapper, if it's a thriller in Manila or Shanghai, then the players might be feeling a little bit tiresome, but that was at their own choice. And as we discussed, it's not a bad choice at all, because if you are to win, and then you have to play the last best of 3 of the day, you could be hanging around for a 3-map series in the other game.
Makes the day pretty long.
Yeah, I'd prefer to stay warmed up, go for a quick little break and get back on into things. So it's the choice that we've gone for.
And Renegades could be juicy for all the reasons that Maniacs brought to light. The fact that they were the only team to beat Astralis on a map at the Major. That was overtime, by the way. That's how close Astralis were to being unbeaten entirely.
It was like a 13-2 as well, like CT half from Renegades, right? And then it came all the way back.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
Or it was the other way around, but either way.
It's just ridiculous that it went to overtime. No team has ever won a Major without dropping a map, and they were that close to doing it. So it speaks volumes about Astralis, but it also, like I say, ENCE came close on stream and didn't actually get one. There's lots of people that come close, but you got to beat them. That's the hard part. So is there an argument that Renegades and ENCE?
That could be another rivalry.
Yeah, maybe we got Rents. Maybe they're on that level. Maybe we are underrating one team just based on who they had to play and how far they didn't go. As Zeus crosses over, gets forced out, but Edward steps up, so to Electronic inside of the pit. Edward on the site. Sergey wants to try and isolate. He will be able to do so. Nothing that Edward could do to swing wide, but he does hold the line, and it's all out with 1 HP. A tickle from Elmo would make him laugh in the worst possible way. 4-4.
Yeah, well, that's a big hold from Edward right there. Might be more than enough to put ENCE on notice with their approach right here. I liked how quick it was. Zeus, he just got away. He got out of dodge. That applied so much pressure to the 2 defenders on the A side, and they did more than enough here. So Simple's excited with that one. Need to get fired up here if they want to get stuck on in. We're going to see a buy come out from ENCE. Mac 10 for Alexi B. UMP for Ariel. AK for X7 and Sergey. AWP in the hands of Alu this time. Maybe they want to use him. See if he can find anybody from Na'Vi overextending. Na'Vi going to keep their hold with the 2 Orgs. AK-47 for Edward. Flamey with the FAMAS. Orby or Jewel. It's a rare one to come by. Even harder on a map like Inferno where the Jewels don't really open themselves up here. Banana control will be taken again by ENCE with relative ease. Alexi V leading the way with Sergey just to make sure the sandbags are clear and they have full control. So the reason for this, you want to make sure that there's nobody still out in an aggressive position, because if there is, they have info that you are coming for a B execute or that you're not. And then they can cheat players over towards other sites. So by keeping them honest and by pushing them all the way back and by forcing them to use, when the clock is still above a minute, a smoke towards the top of Banana, that's great work from ENCE here, as now they go back towards the top middle. You force that utility to try and push them off of mid, and that's the next piece of real estate that you want to deal with. You want to make sure that they can't hold onto any mid positions, and then you have banana control, mid control, and the map is your oyster.
Flash out over chimney to complement that of the smoke, but they won't flood through just yet. Simple gives up. To go to library. Don't give him more of a swing toward the center of the site. Electronic has to do exactly that toward the wall. They get him back through the smoke, though. Ariel with the kill and a smoke down in front of library. Simple's gone.
Save call.
He's making some really save calls, I have to say. I don't know what sort of read into the money system they've currently got, but they are absolutely trying to stretch it out as long as possible. 4-4 now becomes ENCE's lead once again.
So here's the thing, right? If Na'Vi want to go for more assertive plays off the bat and try and ruin the round for ENCE so they can't do these late round executes, they risk the danger because ENCE are doing their defaults, right? They have the protocols in place, the contingencies if the kills go down. So that's why it's such a difficult idea for Na'Vi to go really aggressive without something set. It's not simple as, hey, I'll flash and you can pick, because if they're ready and raring, they normally have one player turned away. They normally have a player ready for those kind of angles. So Na'Vi needs to get a little bit creative, because if they're sitting back and just getting executed on, similar scenes to what we saw on Train, right? The inner bomb site, even rounds where they had 2 players towards that side of things, they were still getting executed on. They were still being obliterated, and it wasn't enough. So they need to find an opening kill. That needs to be the change of pace. Kane needs to get on the mic. He needs to have a bit of a chat, and he says, boys, Opening kills could be our way to success this time round, because that's how they won so many rounds when they're on that 7-round streak. Remember Electronic up close mid, winning duels, Edwards was with him. They were doing a lot of work there, so we're going to see the buy come in again, this time for 2 Famises. So these saves are still enabling competitive rounds, but they're not competitive in terms of the excitement level, the back and forth. It's a couple of kills happen, and then they just wait for the bomb to explode. 4 players over towards B this time. This is a gamble. This is what we were talking about. They want to go forward. Completely blind.
Wow.
There he goes. Zeus is out.
Forward of half wall, just standing on his lonesome. 4 players there, nothing the other 3 could do. Really the best design, perhaps. And the gamble yields nothing. It's like saying all in, and then they go, actually, we're going to fold.
Yeah, they should have pushed with him, right? But you could see the 2 players on the radar for ENCE who were back. That's Alexi and Alu throwing continuous flashes over to allow Sergey to continue to push forward. The flashes are going to land behind him in the air, so they get anybody looking at his position while he can just stay. Maybe he gets partially blind, but it's not too many problems for him. And now the gamble stack has been called, and they've gone over for the A stack. So if it is a B execute, ENCE win the round again. 4 guns stay up for Na'Vi, and then we'll see another gun round again in the following. But once again, it's not a competitive, exciting round. It's just a round where ENCE have gotten 1 kill off of a risky move that Na'Vi were unable to do as a team.
8 outs, Flamey tag 79. Seven, back turn to it. Himself up too far in. Smoke was already beginning to fade, and he didn't have a flash or anything to get him around the corner. Or at least not a teammate to help him do so. Still planted on B though, and they're going to just save once more. Rotating off of it, they confirm that there's at least one over toward the cubby, and 8 players potentially stay alive. I say potentially. Sergey's getting a little bit further down, Banana.
To the new viewers, this might seem like there's not a lot going on, right? It might seem a little bit boring. Oh, there's not a lot of firefights. But it's how the map is being played like a chessboard, right? So with 1 kill in the rounds, they're getting check, right? And at that point, well, Na'Vi have to make a move of a defensive variety. They can't be aggressive because there's no avenue back in at that point. They kind of need to regroup the troops and then wait to play again. But this is what I'm saying about they need to get some fight about them, because if you are continuously losing to just 1 or 2 kills, you're not giving yourself a chance to actually fight for these rounds. You're playing the long game, but now we're round number 11, the long game. You're at the tail end of the first half now. You need to start fighting. If you want to win this, it needs to begin now, because ENCE, you give them this one as well. They're up to 7. There's no reason they can't get 8. They can throw in aggressive plays. They can change up the pace. ENCE doing a fantastic job by only getting 1 to 2 kills. What a simple solution.
So 4 rounds only so far, and they've come in sprees of 2 for Na'Vi, who rightfully call the timeout as a result. Flamey will have an AK. Electronic on the AUG. I can tell you that Zeus and Edward both have FAMASs. And Alu on the ENCE side has the AWP. What does Simple have? I assume there's one on the ground for him.
Yeah, he's just picked it up. Alrighty, so same again. X7 aerial. They're tasked with Boyer on Hall's control. Sergey, you go take Banana on your own, mate. Alu and Alexi will throw some nades to support you. Simple's picking down mid here. We just saw that he wanted to take an aggressive stance. So now Sergey's waiting at the half wall for flashes and nades to come on in. Flamey and Zeus are posturing towards sandbags on the top of Banana. So this is a riskier play. The flashes and nades aren't doing anything right now, and all it's going to take is one perfectly placed from Alexi, which I'm sure they've dry run time and time again to blind up Zeus. That's going to force him off the line, and then all the pressure on Flamey towards the sandbag position.
Sergey still waiting it out. Flamey.
Big kill.
Absolutely wrecks Sergey. That was needed. He falls to 72. He hasn't backed off yet. Smoke down. They're going to pursue it. I don't think they have the information whether or not he has crossed, but they'll nade into it. Easy to bounce. He dodges the flash, finds a second. Very well done, but Zeus has fallen to Alu in the meantime, which means the man that would have defended his retreat is already gone. Thankfully, the smoke down means he can still get away. Flamey stays on 48. And he seems to be comfortable with that because he'll stay out. He doesn't actually want to go back to the site.
Yeah, and he has to, right? Because they need to hold on to at least some map information for once. They're able to, you know, play a 2-3 setup, but if it's passive across the map, when I talk about having real estate under your belt, it makes it so much easier for ENCE to fight and always have a number advantage. Well, this time round that they're down in a 3-on-4 situation, make that a 2-on-3 as the trade goes down with Electronic taking one. Simple will fall to Aerial. Now they're coming to the bomb site. Ooh,
Wow.
Alu.
Run and gun. Edwards now got a lot of pressure applied. Already using the smoke to his advantage, but Alu goes pistol running and then op hunting up close to get Edward down. It's Flamey who started this round with 2 great kills. That's what forced them back over to Way that has to clutch it back. Shoulder peek, forget it. Alu's on. 7 for ENCE.
At least they fought for that one that time round, but I'm not sure if that was any choice of Na'Vi's, where it was more the across the map play and the number disadvantage round from ENCE getting pulled out of the back pocket. So not only are they getting the opening kills and walking into bomb sites with executes, they're also winning in situations where they probably shouldn't. ENCE right now are making a bit of a statement. How high can this team go? Obviously, Astralis, the bar that they've set, no one's even able to touch that. Na'Vi have forced on in here. Electronic and Flame, you still have above 2K. Everybody else on the team is quite low on money. Edward has fully invested into an M4, A4. Simple with the Alligator. And Zeus with a UMP. So it's a menagerie of a buy right now. Alexi's opted to go for a Mach 10 because of this entry factor towards Banana. He able to make that bad boy work. The Electronic. Chance goes missing there. 1 HP. 7 will have to be kept a little bit honest. He's going to drop on back. But at least they know what type of buy they're working with, at least.
Quick shots from Sergey won't land on Edward and Flamey, who are boosting backside of Emo. So they both have the same perspective, and it pays off. Unfortunately, it won't for the second as Sergey sprays in. Zeus is low, but he got tunneled on Zeus, and that allowed Flamey to get a shot when he was in the open. Now the 1 HP on X7
the
certainly
shotgun
matters, and Simple from range. It's not the 1 HP or it would have been a kill. He gets back inside of the door, though, and they have to get close to him. And close they'll go. Simple will do the same in return. Everyone's low. Pistols now certainly relevant as Alu. He's got 11 kills, but only 34 HP is going to be found from the bottom of middle. In fact, take that back. It was Electronic that swung and got him, not the player coming from Banana and Zeus. And the op gets carried over. It's the 5th for Na'Vi.
All right, they got some life in them now. Aerial, he didn't have enough money to actually buy an AK, so he went for the UMP, but Alu actually bought into an AK. So Alu could have dropped an AK in this situation, and they could have had 5 on the board. I thought maybe he was going to get the AWP up, but maybe they have a clear plan on where they want to approach. That must be the key. It's a bit of a different change this time around. Alu's actually gone over towards alt mid. Normally he's covering off T-stairs while Alexi and Sergey work Banana, but they're going for a much clearer A approach right now. Simple is poking his head on down, but this has a timer on it. Once they take Boiler, he has to drop back. And we've seen that happen just now. Smoke's going to land. And they've been able to cheat 4 players actually over towards this site, as Zeus has already made his way over. They've just left Flamey to anchor the bomb site. So this is a big read right here. Maybe the change in the utility used in Banana makes them realize that this isn't the usual default from ENCE.
Sonic can't connect fast enough. They came out too quickly. Simple. In a tight position, does what he can, but man, oh man, ENCE. Explosive time and time again over the bomb sites. Flamey left at a 1-on-3. Bottom side of Banana, I think he's going to slip the other direction, and he will back toward T-spawn.
Circle jump out of apps with the flash combo really makes it difficult for the balcony player. You could see there, if you don't get that first kill, then it puts pressure on your quad players who are playing close up. They have to swing and turn. Their attention's off of middle. The door's well and truly open. You've whiffed your shots. The trade player is coming out of apps. He's able to take you down because your crosshair placement is off. You haven't had enough time to get the kill and reset. Great stuff from ENCE here. That's a pace change. Obviously, it wasn't a rush, but it was more direct. You know, they've been defaulting and doing more late round situations and off of open kills. This time around, they've just gone, all right, well, we'll execute on this A bomb side and see how we go, and they've made it work. They have now won the first half, 8 rounds to their name. They can get as high as 10 here. And it's looking like that's more than possible considering the status of Na'Vi thus far. They do have an AWP again, but it's not finding too much success. You look at their kills right now. Simple's on 12, Edward's on 10. Electronic has cooled off a lot since his impact on the first map. He's down to 7. Zeus with 5, Flamey with 5. On the other side of things, obviously their kills haven't had to come in many. You've got Alexi and X7, who between them only have 3 kills, yet they're winning 8-5. Alu, Sergey, 11 kills each, and then Ariel on the 8. So it's a low-scoring game as far as ENCE are concerned because they haven't had to do a lot in terms of the kills. They've just been moving around the map perfectly. Great mid-round calling from Alexi. Good decision-making from the team overall. And now Simple, he's going to go searching.
He is. Oh, that gap was so close. But he knows they're there because they spray in. He just couldn't hit the shot. Sergey gets rid of him immediately. Perhaps starting to feel the pressure, trying to force some plays. Surely not. Surely his mentality is the same. He just can't find the luck to go along with it. As Zeus waits now, very alone inside of B. Rotation heading in his direction in the form of Electronic. And the bomb is in Banana. 53 seconds. There's 2 over toward A. Whichever side is open and has the least resistance is likely where they'll go. I think they're soon to find out that will be the A side. Smokes are certainly fine. That'll hold anyone at B in position. But already, yeah, Telegraph, they're heading back down. It's now just Edward.
That mid-smoke is actually going to force them to have to go most likely through the App's position. And now that they've smoked off Arch, Edward's pretty much out of the round. If he tries to rotate back through from mini pit, he's going to die to X7, who's going to have the superior position on the balcony control. And he's dead anyway, seeking for information. You have to make a play, right? He had to do something. There wasn't a lot that you could look to. And I'm saying that I want to see them fight. No, ENCE the one doing all the fighting here. Zeus will fall. Electronic, the last man standing. Org in hands. Maybe they'll be nice. Maybe they'll let him hold on to it.
Alu loves Inferno, and he is at 13-5 T-side of the AWP. That's a problem that Navi's going to have to face. They're going to have to face the fact they've given up 9 rounds now to the T's as well. Seven and 6 Electronic. Og, 2 flashes. Armor and a kit. This is not at all what I would have thought from Na'Vi coming into this game. Simple after being absolutely resounding in the group stages. He does lead the way here at 12.
Everyone's being kept quiet though, right? It's not, having one player on that carry performance.
It's the multi-kills. It's the lack of being able to get leads. It's always trades at best.
So when you look at this game right now, obviously we need to flick on over and have the second half, and if they win pistol, they get the first gun round on the board, they're able to exploit the rotations of ENCE, then this game is definitely on. But it's seeming bleak here just because it doesn't feel like there's a lot of fight in Na'Vi. Normally what gets us so excited, what we've seen going on for this team throughout the entirety of this tournament, we're speaking about it, is the exciting plays, the individuals stepping up and pulling off things that maybe they shouldn't be able to get away with. We saw one of them in the last game. It was unable to be converted by Electronic. That could have been the spark they needed, but that's gone fleeting now. And last round, round number 15, it will be another one of these low buys. They found success before. Obviously, Simple with the shotgun closed boiler. Players low, finished off with the CZ of Electronic. But ENCE have just, they've really tightened things up ever since they lost that Vitality game. You could see after that match, I'm not going to say it shook them, but maybe it was just what they needed to get them to really have that laser focus, because their preparation, the ABCs of Counter-Strike, that's what they do very well.
Good timing from Edward. Second shotgun kill in Boiler, this time with a different gun. It's the Mag 7. Sergey. He's got the AK back over toward Banana. They'll slow things down. They can afford to do that. Still on a 4-on-4. Utility starts to fly yet again. It has caused movement in the past that's left Na'Vi slightly open. Vulnerable in their positioning.
It feels they constantly lean towards that arch side to go towards B, right? Which is putting a massive hole over towards their pit and side defense. Just 2 players having to deal with it all. One of the rounds they won, remember, they wrapped onto A, and Edward had those 2 massive frags from the bomb site, actually finished with 4. So it's been individuals who have helped us get to at least this point, and there we go. Simple's going to find the head of Lexi B, and now it's going to be the A play. That's the trigger.
Simple rotates back in. Stays ahead of the play. Got one toward top mid. He flushed them over toward Electronic, and now he gets there to support him. He's got a second on Sergey, and finally a good defensive hold from Na'Vi. 2 players stepping up. Electronic and Simple, the 2 you'd want. 9-6 at half, though, and that still goes in favor of the T-side ENCE.
Oh, I think we might have a short intermission here. Simple has just left the booth. Maybe a quick little bathroom break.
Crowd still believes.
Yeah, they were NIP fans yesterday. They're Na'Vi fans today. These are teams, or at least names, that have come to China before to play in tournaments. You know, think about it, 1.6 days. So it resonates with the fans here. Lots of saves again in that first half. So as we move on to the second side of things, I mentioned this when we kicked off the cast before the 9th round went. One of the things which at least I've noticed from the ENCE games that I've watched under a microscope is they don't necessarily feel the need to cheat 3 players towards B to lock down that defense. They only do it out of necessity. Whereas normally teams do that with 3 players at the start. Like normally the first gun round, we'll have 3 guys go B, we'll lock off A, we'll have 1 guy either side of middle, maybe 1 anchoring apps, and have 1 guy, you know, arch or quad side, something similar to that, so that you can just make sure that there's no quick A plays. You hold them at bay, and then you can rotate potentially a 4-man stack if you get full banana control. Well, ENCE doesn't feel like they do it in the same way. When they get forced to do it, when teams try to keep them honest in that regard, then you can see things change. I wish we knew what the Chinese casters were saying.
I know, because they're clearly bantering with the crowd.
Yeah, they're having a bit of a giggle. Not sure what it's about, but I want to be in on the joke.
Do you feel left out, Chad?
Well, I don't mind being...
Does it remind you of high school?
Hey, I legit used to sit at home at lunchtime.
Aww.
Sit at home? Sit alone.
Alone, yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. No one stole my lunch money, at least.
No. That's good.
Speaking of lunch money, I wouldn't mind some of that ramen we had the other day. Did you enjoy it?
It was all right. I think it could have been a little more full.
You mean more in the bowl?
Yeah, a little more meat, a little more...
Well, we didn't know what we were ordering. We just pointed. Maybe next time we could ask for a little bit more. Ask for a double dose.
Excuse me.
Things are going to get back underway here. Simple's back in the booth. He's returned.
It was Naruto ramen, the only one in the world. That was cool.
Yeah, and we stumbled upon it.
I kind of want some of those chopsticks. Little daggers.
I'm sure we can sort that out.
Yeah, just walk back over and buy them.
Wait in the queue again for 20 minutes.
No, I'll just skip the queue. I'm not buying food.
Actually, we'll probably just do takeaway.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people... No, I guess it's the experience. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know how that might work.
All right, so here we go. Back underway here with the second half. Not a lot of utility board on the second pistol round. Na'Vi have a smoke and 2 flashes of electronic. It feels like they're mirroring each other in a way.
Was that stat I just saw on the Imba stream correct? There's only 8 off kills. Simple only had 3. Alu had 5. T-side CT3, though, for Simple. Simple, speaking of, he started off this game with 2 kills on the pistol. Flamey's gone down. He's going to have to wrap and push aggressively. Alu, there's a kit down in front of him. He's going to want to pick that up before he leaves this position he has. It's the only kit in play. X7. Swings out from pit position. Leaves himself up to Electronic, who came in from above as Alu continues to tap over toward the site, but bomb is being planted. And the man advantage as well still sits with Na'Vi.
It's going to be both pistols if they're able to pick this one up. There's a smoke on Alu.
Sergey trying desperately, but no one's revealing themselves. No one's sticking their head up at all. Edward still holds Boiler. 3 players in this position. Eventually, you just got to go. Just run around, force their aim off. Simples is on. He's gotten the headshots, and Alu, he'll drop to Zeus in the end. 9-7. You're right. It's both pistols for Na'Vi.
That is how the first half started. Simple, very direct. He went into the anti-eco round with the rifle. He had the AUG. He's picking down mid, taking the fights. First gun round, he does very similar things. Yes, Alexi B does only have 1 kill to his name. X evidently has 2. But they won the half. They didn't need to get a lot of kills. They were finding openings off the back of the players like Sergey, Alu, Ariel getting it done. And from there, they were just walking on in. Na'Vi weren't putting up a fight. So don't let that stat be too misleading. We'll follow their kills in the second half, and we'll see how much impact they have, because we know how many they started with. It is going to be the force buy from ENCE here. They're not going to lay down without a fight. And we've already seen several times when we've casted Inferno over the last week and a bit that these force buys have been very effective with smoke grenades. Scout going to tag down Simple. He's going to be left on 30 points of health. So he could fall very quickly. They're going to throw it across. He'll trade across to the UMP. AK in the hands of one of the healthier players. They have banana control. Getting Halls of Boiler will be next. But it's just the indecision. I think it was a Na'Vi game that we were casting where they did lose the second, right? They took too long. Maybe they even went quad onto a site. Not necessarily the best call. But we have seen a lot of these rounds go in the favor of the CT side. So Na'Vi needs to survive right here.
Tagged up, couldn't land a shot on the scout. Tries again. Has the goal to go for the repeat. Zeus will be the one that arrives at the corner. He gets tagged. That position held too easily with the scope. Again, he tries a repeat. Again, position. As he gets lower and lower, and if they're out through the arch, they got to be a little bit careful of the fact that they have him still in library, but also they can attract players in B. Ariel has the bomb. Now their focus should firmly be inside of the side. Sergey, there's a player right in front of them, though, who slides underneath, rightfully so, on the AK, and Alu stuck on the side is surrounded. They'll recover the bomb. And potentially the round, it should be now that they take down X7. Only one remaining, and that is Alexi B. He has only one kill in the game. Let's see if he can find another now. He will. Mac 10, see if he can build up some cash.
Yeah, Flamey really just wanted to see if he could find him to take away anything they had going into the next round, but he will give up that Mac 10. So what becomes an option if Alexi does get the chance to hold on to this? But Edward, he's going hunting, and through the chicken pit he comes. His head will be taken off. I was going to say that he could drop the Mac 10 or the CZ over, and then they have two weapons to work with in the following as opposed to just the one. But luckily enough, Na'Vi, the cleanup crew, coming on through, able to pick that bad boy up. Another score is 9-8 in ENCE's favor, now on the CT side of Na'Vi's map choice. Na'Vi will get a freebie here in theory to get them up to 9-9. We're kicking off round number 18. 4 USPs, 1 P2K. They're going to push down mid. So this one should be a slaughter, but nobody's watching it, Matt. Nobody's watching the push at all. It's going to be called now by Edward, but will the Banana guys be ready?
I don't know if they will. They've got to turn fast. They lost Zeus, but Electronic and Edward. They were indeed ready. 9-9, Na'Vi. Starting to change their fate.
Maybe a bit more expensive than that had to be. Nobody watching up middle for that early push, but even though the round went on the board, you'd say that ENCE, considering the circumstances, would be relatively happy with that. 2 kills. It's not a clean sweep. Yeah, you got to take the little victories when you can. So first gun round of the game getting underway here. Alu will have the AWP, and Kevlar, we have been talking about his impact on the CT side. He feels like he has very good intuition about moving around the map. I talk about them not doing 3 players towards top of the map. They've gone with 4.
Yep, we saw this gamble out from Na'Vi in the last half, and it didn't work. They lost Zeus, and then they just backed off of it immediately. A lot of utility used and not a lot of ground gained. Similar to long A, I suppose, on Dust. You can put the people there early as long as you can rotate them back. Difference is that on Dust, you have the time to do that and still make it to the bomb sites, as long as you send someone B. Here, you may not. If they attack Egg and you're still transitioning back through CT, you can leave a lot open.
Yeah, I think they were making up for the fact that they didn't have a lot of utility to go for Banana control, so they were using some of the A players' nades to help hold Banana at bay, but X7 falls, and there you go. In transition, that's what we're talking about.
Boost up. Sergey was in position to find one. He drops off immediately. Alexi B is able to capitalize from the ruins, from the coffins. Series went out toward New Box. Zeus is dropped. He can't get the plant in. That was the only thing that was going to save this round for them. Flaming in a 1-on-4. Second, he tries to plant. They're going to push, so he baits it. Baits it and nearly sprays for 2, but even then he would have been pushed out from CT, so they had control on the ENCE side.
I'm not sure if Alu's AWP pick down mid was the trigger to go on B or not, but it forced them into that hole, and they just went straight into the blender. Fantastic work there from ENCE just to shut that out before they even had a chance. Na'Vi have enough money in the bank to be able to get a gun round on the board. Simple with the AWP, Galil coming out, so still a very competitive buy. Zeus is the only one yet to purchase on in. Kind of been left hanging by the homies. Flamey could have dropped him a UMP or something similar, but he'll get a deagle up. And now Simple wants to go toe-to-toe with Alu, so maybe seeing if he wants to play aggressive Counter-Strike towards mid again. And he might get made the better of. But this is what we're talking about, right? When you're an AWP player like this, you have to be aware of the mental timings of it. When do they take boiler? Where are my teammates covering? When are the smokes expiring? So that you know when you need to go for a pick like that. We talk about AWPing being difficult on a map like this. Hold up a second. It's going to miss him in the smoke again.
Yeah, they found him. Turned and just barely gets him. It probably would have been a 1-for-1 anyway, because they both would have thought they were equally as safe. And the second man would have responded after a kill. Sergey waits. He's holding underneath the atrium. He's got his face plush against the wall.
This kind of feels the game slipping through Na'Vi's fingers at this point.
I mean, it felt that way in the first half more, if I'm completely honest with you. At least they won the pistol and closed the distance in this. Because the first half, man, oh man, 9-6. Even that took some efforts to get back to. But if it's the game, it's also the series. Keep that in mind. It's already 1-0 for ENCE. That was a giveaway. Pistol could have only came from one place.
Oh, they're having a chat right now. If you can see on Flamey's face, oh, sorry, Simple's face cam, when it was on him, he's leaning over having a chat. So I'm not sure if he's just calling out what he's thinking or if they're talking through the next round.
Well, this one's done. 6 seconds left. So 6 players alive at the end of it. A lot of saving. With best intentions, I think, of creating more gun rounds and therefore more fights. They may have incidentally created more initiative to save the devs.
Yeah, well, trial by error, I suppose. That first map, the opening kills map, went in favor of ENCE, 17-10. This second map right here, just having a look at the stats. What have we got right now? Sergey's won 4 opening duels. Ariel's won 3. 1 for Alexi B, 1 for X7. So even though they have very low amount of kills, they've had success in opening duels. On the other side of things, we've got 3 opening duels successful for Edward, 2 for Simple, 3 for Electronic, 1 for Flamey, and 2 for Zeus. So it's pretty even right now in terms of which way the opening kills have been going on Inferno. But the rounds, even though the scoreline is 11-9, you take the pistol rounds, you take the conversions out of it. ENCE have been doing a lot more work on these gun rounds, and they've been doing it with only key kills, and then good movement across the map. Hasn't been the need for multi-frags, hasn't been the need for anybody to step up and go absolutely nuts. Just keeping it simple. And here we go. Na'Vi with a mixed buy. Saved AWP. AK-47, UMP, CZ-75, and a P250. Feels like a last-ditch attempt here, as this will be round number 3 in a row that they've lost. If they do so, loss bonus will not be maxed on out at all because they won the initial 3 rounds. So back and forth of the economy system early. Ooh.
Good nade. Lands immediately behind the barrels. That's where he's standing. Basically like standing in a cubicle with an explosive. Not a lot of places to hide or get away from it. Bomb still waits back toward T, and Flamey and Edward are investigating Boiler's side of the map. Meanwhile, Simple's holding with the op. X7 knows they're there. Has to go back through the flames. It was a deep enough Molotov. Knew that they were halfway up Banana as a result of it.
Still 4 players over towards A for ENCE here to note. That Molotov wasn't enough to scare them away. I think X7 will drop his smoke momentarily, and they don't have to cheat back towards B just yet. So into 4 players, Na'Vi are going to go. They need the individuals to step up right now and pull out some big entry frags.
Back in. Alexi's lucky to get away. 14 HP. Ariel is gone. He got one with a nade though. Simple may have taken him down, but he found Edward instead. Sergey sitting in the pit, catches off the plant. 14 seconds, they've got to get out. Simple gets only 1 in return. Jumps up and somehow finds Sergey, but he hasn't found the bomb. He will now. And he goes away from default because he doesn't want to get naded. He also knows there's a flank, and he also knows he needs position. Whoa! He actually gets the first one. He's got a chance. He knows Alu's up close, and he sneaks around. Oh, that's what we like from Simple.
The crowd absolutely loving that one.
Every single time, even in this series, he's been out of it, and he pulls that out of nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. 8 seconds on the clock when he puts the bomb down. They're all over him, and he finds both.
That's inspired me. If that doesn't inspire his teammates right now to put up a fight and give us a series, take us to the 3rd, and give us what we want, I don't know what will, because Simple's happy with himself after that one, and of course he should be. Back underway here. ENCE's money now. A little bit hamstrung.
Coming close to firing at Zeus. Shot through his legs.
Mate, at this point, I don't care. Just kill them all.
Yeah, do it. Why not? Alu still watches down with his own AWP at top side of middle. It's X7 in Banana that extinguishes the flames and wants to get up close.
That's insane that he pulled that off. you have to just think about the context of that. I think there was like 8 seconds left when he started planting. They were swarming him, and, well, they haven't started this round in good fashion at all. Alu in a different position this time with the AWP. Will take down Flamey, and now he's moved again over towards the arch side. This is perfect. This is great CT-sided AWPing from Alu here. You want to be really dynamic in this approach. Continue to move around.
No gap in the smoke. Makes it hard
That's
for
a
the
must-win
AWP to
kill.
find the kill, but MP5 at that range gets Edward down. Simple still inside of the doorway apartments. He's down by a man, and he has Zeus to work with. Bomb will get tossed down to Zeus from Simple, so they don't have to do any misalignment in position, and then he drops inside of the pit.
Just note Alexi's flank here. He can take a lot of time and come through halls even if he wants to. It looks like it will be middle, but this could be instrumental right here from the in-game leader of ENCE. Only has an MP9 to work with, but nades to flush out Simple's position.
Gets it. Oh my god. He only had a finger to fire at. And he's not done. They know he's there, but that doesn't make it easy. Alu, he does get the shot over top, all onto Zeus. Time ticks on the bomb, but the kid is there. You're right, there's time enough. Jumping up, though, Zeus is able to hold the line. Now we're seeing what Navi's capable of. 11-11.
Just gotta believe a little bit.
Sergey did everything in his power. Simple. Man, oh man, this is a look back. I'm seeing it on the other stream. You guys aren't right now, but man, that was insane. Even the third.
It was an ace? I didn't even realize that it was an ace. I know we got 4, obviously.
Yeah, 4 in the clutch to jump over top of it. And they've just seen the shot you guys did of the neck and the point in the last round. That's what the reaction is in the building.
Okay, they have an opportunity here, a real chance going up against these light pistols. 3 USPs, a P250, a CZ, a HE on Sergey. They can keep it calm. They can stabilize right now, get themselves the lead in this game. They don't want to lose too many players. Just note their money. It's not looking pretty at all. Zeus has the most on 700. Remember that round they just got through there was a 1v1 situation. So every kill at this point for ENCE matters. Any damage that they can inflict, anything that they're able to put on the board, it's not just a consolation. It actually is going to have flow-on effects as we start to get down to the business end of this game. It's going to be a quicker approach up middle. A minute left on the clock. 3 players from Na'Vi are already pushed on up, and they only have to deal with Ariel, who's playing on the balcony position. Flamey can come late through apps. There's no rush on him. There's no timer on him. You can let the other players take contact. Electronic will pick up the bomb in rotation from Banana, and they should be able to get in here without too many problems. Ariel is the only man they have to deal with, and that was done with ease. So, nice and simple, very thorough approach from Na'Vi here. And it's going to push Banana.
Electronic is ready for it. And he's got the first, the second, tries to spray and find his third. He'll die in the nade, but Zeus is actually there and took one away, excuse me, so Zeus gets 3 on that. And Na'Vi gets the lead back at 12. Simple still has an op to work with. T-sided game so far. It was 9-6 at half, remember.
Here's the problem. ENCE have not done a single thing wrong. You think about this. It's not like they're making glaring mistakes or anything. Simple has to pull off an absolute miracle of a round. You can break down the details and go, oh, we should have picked together, or we did this wrong, we did that wrong. But in the moment of a round like that, that's Simple making magic happen. So now that the guns are back on board, Edward only has a Mac 10 to note, so that could be problematic as this round continues forward. This will be the default approach from Na'Vi. It looks like it's going to be a second wave of utility used in Banana from ENCE here. They actually have the help of Sergey normally playing over towards Hay in that pit position.
He wants to push in, times it with the flames. They extinguish, he goes down. Simple on the edge of the smoke. Have to be careful. Electronic now showing off some speed. He backs off and allows his teammates to go in. Actually, I suppose in some ways bait Zeus, but it was by design, and exactly that. They get the trade. That's all that matters. As Simple still sits with 100 HP, he'll relocate with the AWP just to make sure that mid's covered off as such. That's why Flamey is positioned where he is. They're gonna rotate this around. They're gonna, what was you called this? The Bogdan strat?
Bogdan's Law.
Bogdan's Law, thank you.
It's because Steel and Bogdan got in an argument. I think it was in like a rank S pug or something. Because I think Bogdan was low and wanted the AWP from Steel or vice versa. I'm not sure however it went. And ended up on Reddit. Just carried it through. I think a lion's share of the community might know what I'm talking about. If not, tweet me and I won't use it anymore. I'm only kidding. You don't have any control over what I say. All right, so going towards the A-bomb site.
Alu starting to miss. We know he went missing a few times in series at the major. His teammates did so well. He was a little shaky at times. He's been perfect almost today. That one, unfortunately, is going to cost them dearly because Sergey's all that's left, and he's over toward B. So now it's 13 for Na'Vi. Overpasses the third map.
Sergey's currently topping the charts right now with 21 kills, but he's going to do very good if he can hold on to this weapon right now. They want to hunt him down. Chasing. All three players from Na'Vi are swarming to his position. They've actually smoked off Ruins, and he's gone towards back aside. If he gets some kills, that is still going to hurt the economy of Na'Vi. They know where he is. It's the duel. Simple gets the better of him again, and now he is awake.
25 kills, he leads the way. Match paused, presumably by ENCE. Yeah, it is. Tactical pause says at the bottom.
So ENCE have a difficult decision right now because they're just under that 4K mark for at least 3 of their players, Ariel, X7, and Sergey. This is one of those situations where you could buy a rifle with Kevlar, but you're not going to have any utility, and it's better just to go for that partial buy, or you could upgrade into whatever you want because they will get the max loss bonus after this round. So that's where you could go for like the cheaper shotguns now that we've seen. Obviously the Mag 7's only, I think it's 1,300 now, so you could invest into that if you really wanted to do. Obviously CZ75, the only issue with that is the kill reward's low, but to get a little bit of utility up, there's no problems there. So you can see it, yeah, they have enough money to go for one of these lower investments to keep this round still very viable and still very dangerous. Na'Vi can't just go about it in a manner where they bust on in and take on USPs. They have to work for this. And that's what you want to do. Continue to apply the pressure for as long as you can. Next round they'll have a gun round regardless. And there's no reason that they can't win this one. This to me feels like Na'Vi are going to go for a pretty direct approach towards this B bomb site. And if X7, after that smoke, has Electronic just fade into it, then he really just gravitates towards these $300 blooms of grayness. He loves it. He just loves getting up close and personal, doesn't he?
Electronic. See if he can do anything with it, though. He's invading space. There's no question about it. Smoke down, flash out. Not on the left, though. Not where Alexi's playing from. He's at 1-1. He's forced out by Molotov's, and Electronic knew that he might be. Held the line. Big gap in that smoke, but no one there. Take advantage of it. He nearly got a second one, X7. It was close. He got Simple, didn't get Zeus. Zeus gets the bomb. That goes on the grounds and waits to be potentially defused. I think that's unlikely. And they're already going to back off, even though it's just UMPs, but they want to keep the armor.
Yeah, the armor is key here. Saves them some money for the later rounds if it goes in that way. Edward has something to say about that. He's going to take down Sergey. He will be chased, but Flamey's there.
Great bait. Didn't bother repeaking, giving them a chance to kill him. And then their attention would have gone up toward Banana. He just baits them into his teammate.
Edward's ready for this as
well.
He is.
He's hunting. He knows he spotted 2 coming down.
Oh.
He's having some fun right now, isn't he? Look at him. He's just dragging them around. Alu's after it. Wants the AK. Edward. Oh, he's going to give it up, though. So Alu does get an AK from this, and they're trying to get there. They're not going to because he's gone the other direction.
Bit of cat and mouse there towards the end. You can see how erratic Edward's communication was there on the middle of the screen. So Simple, he's done what Electronic was unable to do in the first map. The clutch that...
Unable to do in the major.
Yeah, well, this time round it's given Na'Vi the chance to close out their map pick and take us to number 3, which will be overpass if we do need it. This one isn't done yet. Let's support on in. Alu has the ult. Electronic. Oh my god. Woo. Thanks for coming. See you next round.
Maybe. Same time, same place.
Well, might be able to do it all again, as we were noting to keep track of the kills thus far. Alexi only had 1 after the first half. He's managed to get second in this second half. X7 is where I was going next. He only had 2, so that means he's managed 3 kills. There is another one. Make that 4. Needs to have impact now.
Tagged up X7 at 13 as he gets one more bullet through the wall, trying to get back inside of the site. That means an immediate rotation needs to come in. Ali will do so. So it's op at CT gap. Sergey underneath Atrium again. Has Aerial to play off of, trying to play in tandem together. Watch and switch to where it needs attention more, but they're going to have company at potentially both boiler door and apartments. No, they're going to go back around. So this setup can work because they won't be able to jump down behind them. 3-out boiler. Setup's almost perfect for it.
Great trades.
Good trades, though. Both of them extremely effective.
Picture perfect there.
If you had gone one outside of the apartment, usually you can catch them off in that situation. But trades, if you think you're confident enough in getting them, work as well. And it's a 2-on-2. Bomb planted. Simple on the M4. Gets off the AWP to play the post plant differently this time, to play more aggressively. Let Zeus hold off in the pit. X7 firing speculative shots through the edge of the smoke. Won't be able to get anyone from the front of library. It might be their turn to save, perhaps. It's going to give up map point. No, he's already, you're right, already around. Already in the open. Has it as well. Simple's down, but Zeus is turned to clutch and low HP. He should be able to do so on the AK. He does. He plays off Simple once again. And it is now map point to tie this and force it to overtime. Overpass, excuse me. Suppose you could call it overtime for the series, being map 3.
Imagine the feeling of being able to win a round like what Simple just did, to elevate your team to a position where you can win a map and keep them alive in the series. Look, I sucked. But when I called a perfect round, it felt bloody great, but I never got to play anywhere near the level that this guy does almost every single map. Well, at least every single series we've gotten a highlight out of him. Final round potentially on the cards here, round number 27. A very mixed buy here from ENCE. A couple of SMGs in play, and they'll find the opening.
That was lovely. As soon as the flash bounced off the wall and Boiler, he pushed because he had to look away. Good counterplay. Lexi B better hope that AUG works wonders.
I feel like they should potentially go for contact here as opposed to throwing utility. And that's what they will do, but Alexi, he's going to get the better with the AUG trained on that position. And now this becomes very difficult for Na'Vi to get back into. ENCE doing a very good job of not giving up the resilience that we spoke of earlier. Staying true. Boosting quietly. MP9 now becomes even more effective as it has the ability to do damage. Simple, very smart. We're throwing away that AWP now, so it's not going to be able to be collected from the side of ENCE if they do win the round.
They have the entire mid wall, though. So there's no chance that they can even try and surprise them on the A site. Maybe they get in apartments. Highly doubt it. They're controlling that early on, right? So be confident in their position. Lexi B. Closing attention. MP9, not enough power. That gives Edward both. Snaps it back, and Alu gets only one. Low HP for Zeus. He's going to hold the plant. 10 seconds. Simple has to protect him. He does. How does he get that? Alu had absolutely every right to take down Zeus, and somehow it's a 2-on-2 as Simple turned back just in time. They'll flash in. Aerial wants desperately to find the low HP man that scurries to Nubox, and they've got a crossfire set. Simple with the AK. No kits. They've got to go, and they go towards Simple. He finds one, knows where the second is, but he in turn has been found out. Whoa. And it's a good recovery from Aerial. And there's enough time, even on 10 seconds.
Wipe the sweat off the brow right there. Gets tight. Aerial will get the defuse and should be able to pick up an AK, so he can drop a gun across in this one, even an AWP if he wanted to Alu. Alu has enough to buy a rifle and drop that to one of his other teammates, so there's going to be more than enough guns to go about, and I can see that they're going to do exactly that. So Aerial's dropped the AWP, Alu can drop an M4, X7's opted to go in for the MP9, but everybody else is going to have quite a nice buy going into this one right here, whereas Na'Vi, they've almost bottomed out. They only have Simple with residual cash right here. This one could go the distance. We're getting to a very dangerous stage of the game right here, and Alu, he's close middle. Banana control is going to be a little bit easier to get this time round. X7 is going to have to only be able to take close range kills. Nade damage done to him early, down to 48 points of health. 4 players towards Banana at this position, and now the kills are coming in.
CB trying to work, trying to get his teammate in position in X7. MB9, he was jumping. He gives his position away, does a lot of damage, to be fair, but he's caught in the reload, and Electronic and Zeus, they'll find both of the CTs trying to get aggressive. And that could be it, because the rotation required, they're not in position, and still Sergey is stuck at middle, doing battle with Flamey. There's only 2 to retake the site, make it 1. Electronic finds Alu. Real gets 1 back. Desperate to spray into the stained windows, but nothing around behind him just yet. Simple just faces him straight on. This is done. Sergey with nothing at all to argue. 16-12 Na'Vi. They'll put us on overpass, and it's Flamey that confirms it. He was waiting the whole time for that man to arrive. What a clutch from Simple to start that off.
If that's not the talking point of that map right there, I don't know what else possibly could be.
What if Electronic did it on train?
Exactly. It could be a 2-0. Those 2 clutches could be more than enough to break the hearts of Finns around the world, but Simple ends that one on 29 kills. Had his sidekick of Electronic there at 23, Edward with 20, Zeus on 17, and Flamey down the bottom, who is having a bit of a slower series right now on 12, but a victory is a victory, and they've evened things up here as we will be moving forward to map number 3, but no one's going to be able to stop talking about that clutch.
No, that was unreal. Ace, 1 on 4, and the last 2. Third as well, jumps on the railing, but the third as well, just unbelievable. You can't say enough about it. That's as good as it would have been. No, obviously not at the major and the semi he failed it, but it was a similar situation where he had to go deep with limited time. With that, we're going to take limited time to a break and then join the desk. We'll be back with Overpass to decide who moves on to the immediate semifinal following.